Hello, good morning. This is your old man of the clan, Engineer Michael Chola. Today, want to talk slightly off the mathematics we have been doing, just to share a bit of what personally I think in terms of aligning the interest of youngsters to get direct into the industry and do not panic. So it's about construction and personnel, a simple guide to students to align their ambitions with real industry practices. I'm just borrowing from my experience of about now 24 years in the industry. I'm a bit fortunate or unfortunate that I did my diploma in building and civil engineering from Uganda Polytechnic Chambogo, 94-96. And I happened to first worked in the industry, at least for 2 years. Then when the 1998-99 university intake happened, I was given that opportunity. I got into that through government sponsorship. But before that, I was in the industry and tried to work. I worked as a site supervisor, as a site foreman. I also worked as steel bender. I also worked as a carpenter. What I did not do was masonry, dealing with blocks. Not very easy, but at least I understood what the skills required for you to have a good alignment both horizontally and vertically, and also managing the different trades. So basically that was what I was doing. And then after that, then I went to campus, and then we pursued Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. But the diploma was basically more of a production skill based. And so you are trained, you get out, you have the drawings, you have the bill of quantities, or you participate in making it. And then your work is to start site mobilization, excavation management, construction management, until you deliver the project. That is what I learned as a difference from someone who goes to the university to do Bachelor of Science, because those who do Bachelor of Science, normally they are science-based, they are research-based brains. They are the thinkers. If you look at these guys who are here, they are interpreting what this could be the diploma people, this could be the technician, this could be guys who went through craft certificate, advanced certificate, diploma, higher diploma. Then they did their Bachelor of Engineering, and they're out in the field. And now their work is to interpret exactly verbatim what the thinkers, those who go through secondary schools to universities and do research-based work, designs, and so on and so forth. So you find material knowledge is very important for those who go through to university. They have to understand the different components of structures and many things. So it is very important that industry practices should be able to shape the mindset of youngsters, so that when they're doing the education, they don't panic. They comfortably do what they're doing, and they know where they're going. So that is very important, and I think we're going to hint on it slightly. I'm only relating it. I'm not an educationist. I'm not a professor. I'm just a practicing engineer. I'm just trying to share the knowledge with what I think was based on my interaction with the young graduates who leave universities and college, and my interaction with them, Then I think, and also with the recent media outburst about what different scholars are talking about. You can do this, you can do that without this, but I think we need to to to, to disseminate information that are accommodative and shouldn't create panic to our children. They should not begin wondering that the thing is very difficult, we can't manage it. Someone comes here, will tell you, I am a captain here. Someone comes and said, no, me, I'm a major here. Someone comes and said, me, I'm might be a pilot. We try what. So at the end of it all, the young ones look at you and they don't know where to even start from. So it is very important. I grew through that. I know about site management. I know what technical people do. I even know what unskilled labor can do. So it is very important. So even when you have your children from P1, P7, senior 4, senior 6. Now these three stages are all key to help any dropout to start a new life through vocational training, and they become very good technologists. We can't say there's a clear difference here. They are technologists and they are engineers. But the problem is sometimes technologists come, they have exposure to media, and they begin to behave like engineers. And they want to usurp powers of the scientists. What I'm meaning here is the research-based. Because if you are trained as a technician and you grow, you become a technologist. I beg to be corrected by those who are higher than me. And you can still go on, but your practice will never be the same with the one who go through doing science, technology issues, mathematics here, engineering. There's a bit of difference I see. So we need, but we coexist. Very important. And that's what even me, I learned during my practice before I joined the university, that we normally, when you're implementing this project, you need the engineers, those who did the design or do the design to continuously guide what you do. Sometimes you have unskilled people, but they've been in the field and they've seen how things are done, and they believe that's the way things are done. And if you're not very careful and you are new in your leadership, then definitely they can hoodwink you a bit and you end up in problem. So it is very important. The designers come, check intermittently, and then they talk to. And then the technologists or the technicians, the so-called foremen, general foremen, come, they interpret and implement what is agreeable to the designer. Yep. So anyway, it's just an open talk. I'm just trying to relate. So I'm a bit touched with the media outburst. So I managed to talk to two groups about this. Those I'm guiding and working with and sharing knowledge and try to put things straight and right, because one of them said for them, some of them got triple A's and went to university now. But when people are talking now, where I told them, no, that's not, don't worry about that. There's no panic. So you make some clarification and you comfort them. And the same have to be done. Has to be done. We need our career guidance and those who are having exposure to our children at the primary living certificate level, P7, and then those at the UCE level, that is senior 4, and then our A level guys, that failure to go to the next level marks the beginning of this so-called science world. And so when you look at construction and is the personnel, you should be those should be your guidance already, and whereby you will get out and you fit very well to the industry. So the structure of construction project team can provide valuable guidance for shaping an education system that aligns with industry demands, ensuring students are trained for relevant roles at various skill levels. Definitely, for those of you who have managed to study from outside your country, especially in the Western world, I learned few things that always, whatever they are lecturing and what they're teaching, they are more or less related to what's really out there. Most of the examples they give, assignment and courses they give, coursework they give are real-time projects that are operational out there, or they participated in, or they're designing the office. So it aligns those young ones, and when they get out, they are not green. From day one, their probation period seems to be shorter than our probation period here in Africa. 6 months, how many months? But I think theirs seem to be slightly lesser. So it aligns them with roles at various skill levels. So here is how these roles can influence the education system. Of course, industry practices now. This is a bridge. This is a curve steel composite bridge. I think these are the different personnel on site. You can see them. We are going to see the different guys you have. We have. If you look at just before look at anything, normally on site, when you're on site, you have a project manager, and then you have sometimes a deputy project manager, and then you come to site engineer. Sometimes they say site agent. Then you have what they call the general foreman, the one who is in charge of all the foremen. Then the foreman, we have the one in charge of carpentry and joinery. That's foreman carpentry. Then you have the one who is in charge of steel bending, foreman in charge of steel bending for storage buildings, steel cutting and bending and fixing. Then you also have foreman in charge of concrete. You know, concrete technology, you need a specialized team or person knowledgeable. So you have a foreman there. Then you also have a foreman of building, masonry. And then now these foremen do have other gangs working under them. With maybe the foreman could be the diploma guys, and then the general foreman could be a higher national diploma, and then the site engineer could be the one a Bachelor of Science or a Bachelor of Engineering. Project manager could be a guy in Master in construction management and other things. And so then what about the foremen, the different foremen? I talked of now these are guys. Now this one is more specialized area. Now this one you can see the concrete part is already done. So this one here, the person who handle all this quality could be the person in charge of concrete. But for you to shape this and get it right is more sometimes surveyor. The site engineer has to be in. The general foreman has to be in. And so even the carpenter has to come in here, because he's the one that do the mold, and then do that. Then some of these curves, these are now these are done from the factory. You have different crew handling that, and they are the one bring it here. You may find these are the technologies. Could be diploma people, could be even degree guys, depending on how they do that thing. Because sometimes aligning these structures, if it is a bridge, now they are trying to align it with the bearing. So the precision is very important, and so the level of skill, the skill level is different. Experience, the exposure could be different. But all these positions, all this activity, if they are exposed to our young one at the early stages, and with the industry boom like in Uganda here today, if they begin to see and they begin to give talk, good talk, tailored for them. I remember when the Nile Bridge was done, they started taking students there. It's more at a higher level. They need to tone it down. Then they start even making paper bridges. just try to look at some video movie stuff, and then from there they can develop. You have seen these toy cars they make. You can also do the same for structures like bridges and buildings, storage building. Today the storage buildings are collapsing, others are bending before even the walls are put in place. So now that become discouraging factors to many of the young ones, especially if it is near school. Every time you talk about a building, then definitely they will just say, okay, so if I become a bridge or a site engineer, a bridge engineer, a site engineer, this thing can happen to me. So in a way, we need also to refine and then I think the legal framework in place and rest need enforcement so that things are done once and they are good, and then they encourage young ones. So these are some of the activities and the personnel you look at. So the structured education pathways is what we are looking at down here, which I got briefly. So each role in the construction and engineering requires varying levels of education and expertise, which can guide curriculum development across different education levels. Now, when I talked about masonry, a foreman in charge of masonry. Masonry now goes down into what someone who has done block or brick and concrete practice at a certificate level. Maybe starting from P7 when you're off, they take them to learn how to lay bricks, how to do concrete work. Those are guys who know how to mix concrete, but the concrete mix ratios comes from the engineers. The grade of concrete, how the project is designed. So the whole personnel in the industry, you now see how it is bottom up or up top bottom. So you find this the block, even the block, the strength of the block is related to the strength of or the applied load. It has to resist the load which comes. Even these walls you see in my background here, they are designed to carry their self-weight and the weight from the roof. So by the time someone is being trained how to lay the bricks, they also need to have the knowledge imparted at a lower level. First earn information that these bricks, because the mortar that you use, the mortar they use for design and for building, they're also designed. So today people just go and say, yeah, I want a mix of 1 in 3, 1 in 4, 1 in what? But if you go and look at the building technology books, they are specified. But when you go to design, they're also there. The engineers struggle to specify that. But because of now research over years and the rest of it, people came up with publication, and so they're already captured there, and they're very straightforward. But we have to know, have to appreciate, and that is how people, because many of us believe that some of these things, these builders who are trained on job, they copied it from those who penned down their knowledge. And so many parents do believe this is now, no, it's okay. Let's go, you go to school, read this, blah, blah, you fail, they beat you, do what, until you go to the university. Not knowing that actually whatever, we are just mismanaging this industry. If it can be put right, then all these things, TVET, the new curriculum coming, will do. Now look at the new curriculum now we have. It's conflicting with the labor law, this recruitment of young people. Of course, the conflict is not bad that it should be abolished, but it would require some flexibility somewhere, because if my kid in P6, my daughter in P6 is now coming up with projects on how to relate local national features, what activities are being done, then there is measuring tiles in the floor here, calculating how many tiles are there in a given room, the understanding how tape measures they work, calculating the circumference of a tin. Now, by P7, when this kid, all of them do different projects, these are now industry people. They're already having exposure to the industry practices at P7. So the law need to be refined, the age limit for exposure, because now a kid P7 now, if we are encouraging technical education or vocational education, we must immediately align that with the law we have, because I always see Ministry of Labor emphasizing we have projects. The New Karuma Bridge, we're working on the New Karuma Bridge. The Japanese are coming next year, June. We are beginning construction. The grant agreement is ready now, and they are very strict. They keep saying no child under 18 should be recruited. But here in the industry, our Minister of Education now has really baptized the improvement of our education system, which has already included now the change, which is positive, and industry aligned. And what would mean there is also early entry into the industry from the mindset. You are with your kid, you are engineer, 22 years in the industry, the kid is in senior 4, senior 3, he's already knowledgeable about certain few things that are being done in the industry. Would it be right or wrong not to allow them go and get engaged after during their vacation, waiting to join A level, at A level, waiting to join the universities, colleges, at P7, waiting to join secondary school? They're already doing practical stuff, and the president is very eager to see that we have scientists getting into this industry as early as possible, and we already have a system. So Ministry of Gender, Labor and Gender need to look at that and try to make it flexible, and then we up it a bit, and the stars begin to get exposed. It's very important. Understanding how project, even your own building we have, these houses we have, these young ones from P7, they should be able to notice if the paint in the wall is peeling off, if there are cracks happening, if they move in the compounds and some pavers are getting off, the implications. Always we have problems with this coloring of our paints on the perimeter walls. This should be able to explain that briefly. So it's a very positive change, and I think that's okay. So I would also explore our colleagues who have already gotten their PhDs, whether through vocational trainings or through normal traditional studies, like through the secondary school. I know those two PhDs they have differences. There's more practical somewhere, there's more theoretical research somewhere, but at the end of it all, depending on the level of exposure, all will contribute to the infrastructure advancement and bettering the life of the citizens. So we need to try to see how best those things can, and then they give proper guidance, and then we get those things. So when they talk about structured education pathway here, each role in construction and engineering require varying levels of education and expertise, which can guide curriculum development across different education levels. Bullet one is about vocational training and technical colleges. Here, this is now where we have some in the Kigumba, even Tinder is here. Yesterday, I saw something on there's a doctor who was explaining and talked about where the children are going. I was very impressed, and I think he wants all of them to follow his footpath, the way he did his stuff. Which is okay. I think Tinder has one, maybe in other places. Maybe what needs to be done, this is now where both PhDs, the guys who go through technical, are through to their PhD level. But even the PhD you have to go up. You go up until you finish with the PhD. Then you can do other things from there. It's important. Go up. Yeah, that is very important. Then I would also encourage my colleagues, have colleagues those of us who complete in 2002, I have about, I think, 6, 7 guys who have gotten PhD. For us, we are still enjoying Marwa here. I'm telling you. So now, as they have theirs, and they're enjoying. So I would also encourage them with their level of exposure. Get into this vocational training and begin to impart what exactly is done and what is that synergy, what is that the linkage between the technologists and engineers, so that they begin to appreciate how do we work. How do we work? We are all together. Whether you go through craft certificate, what you end up, you need the engineer to do the other thing, and you do. If you're also sharp, you can also do, but still, there are some subjects and some theories that you may not get. Some people will be talking about Fourier method, Laplace method, so many things. For you, you have this simple engineering mathematics 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's a difference. So, but they all fit into something. So we need to understand. So vocational training is very, very important. This is where I'm thinking now. Once your child has reached P7, you should relax. At the moment now where the world is going, just relax. What you need is now look at the interest, especially for boys, even girls. Look at the interest. If he's going off, now take him now to let him now start. You can see we have both the unskilled and skilled labor, including porters, carpenters, masons, steel benders, plumbers, and foremen. I've told you about foremen. The one is this mason also has a foreman. Steel benders also have a foreman. So at a diploma now, as you go, to ordinary diploma in civil engineering, that's what I did. I did after senior 6. I did honor diploma in building and civil engineering. And I can tell you the courses they do there, and you'll be amazed. You do engineering mathematics, you do quantity surveying, you understand the basic elements of quantity surveying, how to take off quantities from the design from architects and the structural engineer. You are able to interpret the design, the drawings, take off quantities, prepare the bills of quantities, get the costs, and you cost the building. That is what you do. You also do carpentry and joinery. You understand the carpentry and joinery is more, there are 2 elements. There is the roofing carpentry, and there is the wardrobe, the doors, the windows, the tables, the joinery things. So both you learn, and you take which one you want. There are those who get into the industry and do the most of the roofing, carpentry system, more for foam work, like scaffolding, foam work for columns. You have seen this building with columns going up. Those are the carpenters who took that direction. Then you can also have the same training, but there are those who will move towards carpentry and joinery, dealing with. You have seen these guys who do a lot of your interior design carpentry, the beds, the tables, everything you admire. Those are the products you have. So it's not the one that you have so many. There are those who take that direction, and then there are those who will get in that. Then you have the porters, and these are the laborers on site. You have seen them on road projects. You have seen them in many places. They also have their leaders there. Those guys are very, very important. Without them, you can production become a problem. They are very important. If you want your project to move, take care of those guys. They are very important. Some of them know what to do. All you need is just know how to do your leadership, and you will always reap what you sow. It's very important. Masons, yeah, these guys do a lot of building using they also control concrete works, because that's what they do at their block work and concrete practices. So most good concrete technologists are basically these guys. They do building, they do stone works, building walls using stone, bricks, and blocks, and so many things. Then you have steel benders. I think you have seen in most of the storage building, reinforcement bars, bending it, cutting it. And all this cutting you're talking about, they are all aligned to what the designer has already done. And that design is done by someone who has gone through the secondary level to the university to do design. And also there are those who do design who go through that the normal skill craft certificate through the diploma. They also learn the design, which is okay. And so, but of course, the extent of design also do matter. I remember that when we were doing our honor diploma, we had also guys of I diploma. They also tried to do some design, but you'll find there's a way it's done. So I'm not saying that they don't know, they also do, but all appreciative. So that is very important. Then there is engineering degrees. Now, for the vocational training, I already told you. At P7, you can take a kit out through the industry. We also have some in Lugogo here. We have some German training institute here, Lugogo. They train those mechanics people. I think there are even others they do. So you have even Nakawa Vocational Institute, I think they are. So you have P7. I told you just relax. Senior 4 also relax, because now from senior 4 there's no dropout. When the kids say this is it, blah blah, now you can take them to vocational training. Those and they do certificate. There's craft and advanced certificate, but senior 6 is where you can, they start from diploma. So the entry point also differs. The entry point now, from P7 you have to do 2 certificates for you to be able to match with someone. But of course, most of the theory you will have missed. That's another thing you need to note, that those group who go through technical advancement from craft advanced diploma, blah blah, and there are those who go through senior 4, senior 6 at the university. There's a gap in the theory, exposure to theory. That one, whatever you do, there will be always a difference. There's always a difference which we need to know, and we need to encourage maybe some self-discipline people to read. But even if you read, you don't read to the extent which is being explained by professors in the secondary school. But it cannot disadvantage a technologist. So at the end of it all, but there's a difference. We need to admit, do not go to any function and begin to say you are the. That's why the skill imparted into the guys who go through craft advanced can never be removed, never be equated to the one who go through university, through the secondary. They are completely different. At the end of it all, you just look at a project A, look at your contribution, and there we go. So we must note the difference. Don't make it look the same. No, but at the end of it all, there's where we contribute and have that thing done. So at the engineering degrees, you prepare site engineers, resident engineers, and design engineer. Most of now, even when you are doing procurement and you are getting personnel, you find that the qualification now changes for the kind of categories, not the caliber you want for a particular position. Yeah, so that is what also you need to know. So some of these young people, they go, like these guys who have gone to P7 and P7 senior 4 and senior 6. Once they join a workplace somewhere, and they begin to admire the guys of the site engineers, the resident, and they know that because they can reach there, but they still have a stage. So when they get money and what, they go, and they're really in the path to that. So that's how construction and personnel roles and responsibility can shape the mind of youngsters to climb the ladder. And tomorrow, so they are there, and the industry moved in tandem. Then you have advanced management and architecture programs. This one, I think, where you have project managers, you have contract managers, you have project directors, you have architects. But of course, project managers, you can even still get them from, but of course, those who have done civil engineering, but you need some specialized project management course, like UMI here. Professor Courage, I think, has an institute here. Is imparting knowledge, some of the notable figures here in the country. So it is very important that we get that. Yeah, I've seen sometimes we do things, and you reach a certain position in the ladder of that qualification, but midway you start running horizontally. Zigzagging, you want to be a big person. Now they tell you the other person is big because he did this course. You jump into MBA. Said, but no, the other one who made the money did a BBA. Said, wasn't MBA. The rich guy, he did a BBA. Yeah, jump there. Then they tell you, you know, the other guy is so rich and he did not go to school. Said, but then why did I even go to school? Okay, let me relax. 1 year you're off now thinking, what did he do to make the money? So when we begin to tack money to profession and leadership to profession, that is where we get loose somewhere, and and you don't climb, you don't reach the roof. You're already crossing everywhere, and it's disturbed. So let's also guide the young ones to make sure you climb. Like, you know, why do you do craft? Then you do advanced certificate, you do diploma, but should be in the same what degree. Then from degree masters should do, even your PhD should be the same. You can't go and then degree is completely in Nigeria, not even here in Ghana. So at the end of it all, disturbs even when recruitment is there and the rest of it. They are trying to align and the things not come, the jobs come, and then site activity comes. They find you don't have everything, which is bad. Okay, fine. So we need to climb up. The way we climb from P7, senior 4, senior 6, university, masters, go to degree with the same. Then now from there, now you can now go horizontally. It's a very good field. It can give you good level of competitive advantage with others. Okay, establish. Okay, so before I leave the structured education pathways, they are here. For vocational training and technical colleges, you focus on unskilled and skilled laborers, including porters, including carpenters, including masons, steel benders, plumbers, and then foremen. Then engineering degrees, prepares site engineers. So once you have your degrees, whether it is a Bachelor of Engineering or Bachelor of Science, these two are different. Of course, one goes through, one is like technologies. One goes through the diploma thing. Then, like we used to go to Uganda Polytechnic, Chambogo, Technical College, Kichwamba, Elgon, Lira. Now there are many. So that's how you get into that. And then the Bachelor of Engineering came to Chambogo. I think Chambogo must up to now could be doing Bachelor of Engineering. Maybe I need to be guided. Is it Bachelor of Science? Makerere is Bachelor of Science. That's the traditional school. You know, when we were growing up, they told us the mindset of Uganda is when they say university, it's the Makerere. One of my teachers said, when you're done with Chambogo, go to Makerere. God help me, I also ended up in Makerere. And I was there with the stars. I'm telling you, they are now going to 10, 15 with the PhD. We are here enjoying Marwa, but we shall join them sometime, one day, God willing. So you have engineers, that is the thing. Then advanced management. Now this is now where you get into these construction management courses and the rest of it. Now is establishing clear career progress. So educational programs can create pathways for students to progress from entry-level skills to leadership position. I'm borrowing from my experience, the 24 years in the field. I have seen the different personnel on site, ranging from porters, skilled, unskilled, skilled, unskilled, basically are the porters. Up. So you can see it here, they are talking of stage 1 certificate in masonry, carpentry, plumbing for entry-level workforce. And then stage 2 is about the diploma. Now, diploma, I told you, is now when you are after senior 6 in Uganda. Yeah, once you have any senior 6 dropout, please go and wake up these guys, let them go and do their diploma. Immediately, then they get in the degree. You see, and diploma is only 2 years. They will be up and running, and they start making money. And then from there, they save money. They are still young, save money and get into degree level. Go and get your PhD, master's and PhD. If PhD is what we want in the industry today, but PhD also, you should not be employed. When you're a PhD chap, you are running for jobs, then you are in trouble. You should create jobs, research and development. There are a lot of challenges we are facing in our industry today as we grow up in the industry. A lot. Every angle you turn, buildings which are collapsing, they need to research and get solutions. I hope government will give you money. I'm not up there, but they will give you money. There's a really a promotion of research in Ghana, and the president is a champion. And I think there's a doctor lady who is also championing you get, but you are compiling papers and lining up for interview with people here. It doesn't work. Go and start and do it. Huh? You wait when we get our PhD, we shall employ people. But for now we are not yet there. But for you who has PhD, please get out, go talk to government and open for us. If we have about 50 PhD holders in Uganda today, those are 50 separate firms, research and development firms, with at least, if each is employing about 20 people, how many employment would you create? How many? So let us not just want a PhD for talk so. No, it has to be real. It has to be real. We have to. This industry, if you don't do that, we are finished. I'm just sharing you my experience. When we were designing the Nile Bridge in 2011. We engaged Arup consultant from UK to do independent design check for the Nile Bridge, which was being designed by a Japanese consultant, Oriental Consultant Global. They had used, the loading was based on the old BS standard, BS 5400, which is still being used by the ministry, our ministry. The BS 5400 has the loading for the traffic. It has some conditions there, but after the improvement and of the BSEN and the Eurocode, we have not changed ours. But because the contract was signed between government of Uganda and they are using it because it is the law. So now, when the guys came and check the bridge using the latest software, the latest code or manual, the bridge collapsed at the design stage, and we had to agree. It was not good differences. So lucky enough, it also created some opportunity for some of us. We traveled to Tokyo, and we had an engagement, and which was later agreed that the latest BS and the Eurocode combined. It was a negotiation and agreed now. Okay, our was loading, international best practice loading, agreed. Then we say, okay, let's use it, and then the Japanese still continue with that. So Arup did a very good job and check. But why I'm bringing this topic now, it's about the level of education. This bridge was designed because of its sensitivity during construction, even during rain in service, the cables vibrate, and so there's the issue of the issue of aerodynamic effect on the bridge is of importance. So they had to do what they call wind tunnel testing, and wind tunnel testing was done by the Korean. You know, this project was Genetaka and Hyundai. So the Japanese working together with the Koreans. So we went to Tokyo. From Tokyo, they flew us to go and witness the wind tunnel testing in Seoul. We reached there. 3 of us from former Yondra, myself, Jonathan Tugume, who is now the managing director, Dynaco. He was actually the main contract manager. I was the project engineer. And then for the design. And then Benjamin Olobo is now one of the board members of URC, Uganda Rail Corporation, and also doing some consultancy. I think he's working with KJE as the coordinator. I need to be corrected. Then Pamela Ayebare was our land compensation specialist. Then the other side, so we were 4 this side. The other side, there were eight guys, young people. We are older than them. So time came for introduction. They started on their side. 6, all of them PhD holders. 2 masters. Our side, 2 masters, 2 Bachelor of Science. That is when I say, yeah, fine. And they had a consultancy. Global recognition. They are everywhere. They have a big office. They employ people. They are not employed, they employ people. So government of Uganda employed them, but they are employing others. It was contract. So I think our brothers here and sisters, these PhD holders, please let us find ways and open up space and create that as the education systems are getting improved, even your P7 chaps is now getting into practical world. Get out, start recruiting researchers. Let's have research and development very active. We move. Everything we do in Uganda has problem, and we need research. And government will have to look for money. Yeah, they'll get money. For us, we have to support government. We are government supporters. So it is very important, very, very important. So that is, I had to talk about it. So we have to. So so when you come back to that path, the career path, then certificate I've given you, diploma I've told you, it's about civil engineering, construction technology for site coordination role. I've told you those carpenters you hear, those are diploma guys who come out and then they're like myself in '96 when I was also a foreman. For those who studied in Budo, I was there as a site foreman. There was a library, and the late Busolo was still there. They used to brag about me because I was a site foreman, I think 97, 96, 97. Yeah, I've been around. I've been around working on many sites. I don't need to mention some, others are very sensitive. So I am an example. So I talk with authority here. So the diploma of civil engineering, I've told you, you do quantity surveying, you do even materials or property or materials. You understand everything the engineers are doing. You understand, but you are not into the research kind of. Yes, to usability, applicability, and how best it should actually suit the design requirement. So that's how you do. They specify. So for compliance, the technologies make sure there's compliance with the specification. That's as simple as that. So there's a communication, there's linkage in the industry. So degree programs in civil engineering, structural engineering, project management for supervisory positions. So definitely as the technicians are climbing the ladder, they begin shading off at the point of their need and specialization. If they want to be at a project management and supervisory position, it moves a bit from stage 1, it goes to stage 2, then to stage 3. Now there are those who now move from stage 3, like our colleagues today in this world, they keep going introducing themselves. They now go to postgraduate studies in construction management, contract administration for leadership roles, and then others go into PhD. When you get into PhD, my brothers and sisters, start looking for offices to recruit people. Me, I think that's what I would advise anybody, whether you are young or old, you have to recruit people. You have to recruit and support government. So these are the clear career progression. My another question I would ask is, we have career guidance in secondary level, and I don't know how much. It's a bit, I don't want to preempt certain things, but it's a bit difficult. They have a lot of problems because you senior 4, you pass, you do 8, 9, 10 subjects, then they say you go and do A level, what you scored well. No, people are guessing, all of us parents are guessing. Then from A level, say, but you got a triple A in what? Okay, you just go to university and do. But now when you reach university, when the kid is now at the end of final year, says, but what am I doing? This thing is different. Now they begin to relate. There's confusion. They come out of the university, say, Mosaic, give him money, start a salon. He's a civil engineer. Is he having a salon? Is he into something because he just say he was not guided? That's why sometimes people who go through technical things, they're already aligned. Then, so guidance. Don't you think also it's high time as we introduce new syllabus, we also start co-opting experts to come and guide from P7, Senior 4, and Senior 6. Give a talk. So you, the people who have been introducing yourself to the president also, you need to help and go and talk. Go and talk at the primary level. Go and talk at secondary level. And all other PhDs who are silent and quiet, they are making money. Come out, go and issue. For us, we have started learning how to share our knowledge, and we have started reaping. Guys call you, guys come and say, yeah, here I was making a mistake, I corrected it, I listened to something you mentioned. So let's help these young ones and do something we can do. Now, integration of practical training. To ensure graduates are job ready, education systems should incorporate internships and apprenticeships at different stages. Definitely, now I've told you actually. There are 3 stages that are key now. 3 stages before the college or university. P7, why is it key now? You already started introducing them into practicals. So they must all tailor-made. So there will be another week or 2 created for all the P7 chaps or from P6 and P7 to understand in the way industry practices or practitioners do come and issue talks and show them few things, they visit a particular area and they give them the basics. They can even use the home where they stay as their starting point to understand engineering, to understand anything you do in this world, science and the rest of it. Those who are doing the general science, lab technicians, lab and laboratories, something like laboratory issues. Guys who are like doing everything, assessing, looking at so many complicated diseases and the rest of it. Then there are those who are doing that. If they should be introduced to some of those things. So it is very important. Training, industrial training, I know they always emphasize in the universities and colleges, but they should now start. With this change in curriculum, exposure should start as early as possible and then should be well aligned. I'm a bit happy that recently one of the lecturers from Makerere called me, invited me to make a presentation to the Master of Structure student. They did. I did. And later on, when I got in touch with the Minders team, I advised them to I got the contact of the lecturer. I gave 2 lecturers. I gave the number. Now, 2 weeks ago, I was told they already signed MOU with the university. So very soon they will install. That is how the industry is getting closer to the university. They will not come out to do industrial training. They will come out to start work. Because during the study, they're already working together. They are going to have projects that they do their research on, which is part of what the entity will be doing, and their reports will be feeding into the government records and lesson learned stores, if they are there, archive. So become part of the whole, so become holistic. This is now where we bring what they call diversity into our practice. So this university will have to come in, the gender issues have to come in. Now the children are coming in, the underage have entered. I don't know at what age. So maybe the age of P7, when they keep the richest P7, now that age is what Ministry of Labor need to cap. Is it 13 or 14? That's an industry practitioner because he's already been introduced to that. So we have to think carefully there and make sure they get as early as possible. I've seen scholars, very young guys from India, they always saw them on YouTube area where mathematicians at a certain age. So we have to encourage and let them take the lead. The industry is changing into AI driven, so they have to come in. So the technical students train directly under foremen, masons, carpenters, and plumbers. So you can now see that you begin to sort out, and this is what I was telling you, that guys who go through those technical schools, even now the secondary guys who are going there, right up from P7, Senior 4, Senior 6, they begin to understand few things. They begin to understand, even at the university level, they also need to begin looking at all those things, and then the training has to be aligned. And because the curriculum also is being polished, we are going to begin. I'm not an educational, they should do it, because I'm only sharing my experience, because I always interact with these young. When they come, there's a lot of questions they ask, and you also struggle to respond, but sometimes you see them going when they have not understood you. So would be very good that if the technical student train directly with that would be very good. Then engineering students also collaborate with site engineers and project managers for hands-on exposure. Engineering is experience, and experience is exposure. Three. The three E's. Engineering is more of experience. You will learn, but without experience, you are never an engineer. That's why even now, when you come for registration, you have to have first 4 years as a pupillage training as a graduate. Then then you start the application issues. So you have to be exposed. You have to get the experience, get exposed. You're in. Then then you have future leaders, project managers, architects undergo in the industry placements to understand contract administration and infrastructure design. Yeah, so basically these are some of the things, integration of practical training. Definitely there's somewhere I think I might have missed, and I don't want to confuse people. When I talk of P7, Senior 4, and Senior 6, maybe these are basically technical students. So for the other one, they're already having their exposure, but slowly. But the big question is, now that we have introduced them to the industry, and there's the industry law guiding, the Ministry of Labor is there. What will you do, and what are you going to do, the minister and the leadership? How are we going to handle that? Very important. Because I'm giving an example. Most projects they put under 18, but then the curriculum has been changed maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago. Eh? So it has been done. So we have to, how do we align that? Very important. Okay. This was just a picture of, now this is a bridge. Now you can see many guys are working. These guys who are working, are they skilled, unskilled? Are they porters? You get the point. This is a bridge, that's a tarmac. But this tarmac has a very, the technology of coming up with a tarmac, the machinery used, the kind of lab work they do. You can, so that is, but they get used. These are reinforced earth panels. These are vertical panels, retaining walls. There's another underpass down here. These are formworks you see. These are the sidewalk here. I put for them. They put it. The bridge is here. So many things are happening. But these are guys who really know what they're doing. They're doing concrete work, and they know what they're doing. So they have a supervisor here. There are some who are standing here. This could be the site engineers. The site foreman could be here. Others are engineers trying to see that these things are they coming the way they design. So this whole setup of personnel is also a key driver to appetize our young ones, the technologists at the certificate level and going forward. So it is very important. Specialization for economic growth. Different industries require specialized expertise, so the education system can guide students towards specific sectors. Infrastructure and bridges, residential and commercial housing, heavy construction and roads. So, of course, now from your senior 6, now when you do, okay, from P7, you start craft, you go to advanced, you go to your diploma. You are now exposing yourself to the industry, get the experience, understand engineering in depth, and so from there you begin to relate which industry you can fit, because I told you it is very big. Like I was given an example at the diploma level what I was doing. We did about six course subjects. There is quantity surveying, there's building construction technology, there is materials, property of materials, there's carpentry and joinery. I think there was something to do with I think there are 6, I've forgotten 2. So and all that has a path. If you have done building construction, I want to become a foreman, construction manager, rest, I will now concentrate. But then if I want to go to the lab, material stuff, I also understand material. I will be more into the lab. So you can see how you are getting away from, you can't get it all. If I want to be a quantity surveyor, I would have concentrated more into understanding building construction and others, because they also you need to understand them for you to be able to do quantities, prepare bill of quantities, and cost the project. So you have quite a lot. So now, like here, you can also see that now for infrastructure and bridges, someone will do, then you find his interest aligning into bridges. You see now they're here. So he's more into that. And down here, these are building guys. You see that? These are building guys, this is a road guy. So the alignments start coming in. Those are now interest driven or passions driven. Very important. So Residential people will take into the building, prioritize architecture, urban planning, and sustainable building. These are what you now study. For the infrastructure and bridges, you focus on civil engineering and structural engineering design. These days, you also have real bridge engineering. I did bridge engineering masters, so you have about 6 core bridge design knowledge exposure. Steel composite bridge, bridge maintenance, deck loading and analysis, long span bridges, then which one? Durability of bridges and structures. Then there is one more, which I think soil structure interaction. If not, soil structure interaction combines both the building underneath. So because at the end of it, there are 8. So those are I think I managed 5. But you can see that now you have colleges around the world which are offering real bridge stuff. So you can still update and you get to know where it is. Actually, it is up to here. Then residential, you focus on architecture, urban planning, and sustainable buildings. So as you climb the ladder, you get interest because you get exposed to the industry, get the experience, come back to read. So you align yourself. At the end of it all, you know where you're heading. Even your degree, your PhD will be aligned to what you have done. Please, it's very important that align your PhD with what you have done down from climbing up, so that you control the world. But if your PhD is an outlier from all the papers you have done, you cannot control the world. You can't even do you cannot start a research and development office, because someone junior to you may come with, he has done everything up to the PhD level. For you reach up and you run this site. You can't control, become a problem. So let's align, go, and when you are done with all of it, then move now horizontally. So basically that. Then encouraging STEM and innovation. Okay, now this bullet 3 I've forgotten. Heavy construction and roads. Train specialists in geotechnical engineering and contract management. Very important to understand this. And even for us today in Uganda, the population outburst, we are moving into areas that we never, swampy area, weak area that need extensive geotechnical knowledge. We are going to start going high-rise, tall building with piling system. We are going to start having long span bridges because we need to cross very interesting areas. Very many. If we can connect Nakasongola to Zengebe, if you can connect Nachuogu here, if you can connect the Gava area there, if you can connect the Bukakata and Masaka with bridges, that is where we are heading. This population, Uganda has a good stuff. So people with PhD start research. We want to know the river, the lake bed. We want to know many things. Please, let's have it and let's do it, and you move forward. And the young ones will always now just follow the first path, which already has been made very well for everybody. So heavy construction, there are also a lot here they do. There's also those equipped operators. Okay, we shall get time and talk about those machine operators later on. Okay, fine. So here is encouraging. I think this is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics and innovation. I know government is now at the center stage. They are doing it. They will have to, but now they need to quickly move into the question I was asking, how they're handling the curriculum today, the honor age, and that integration of the technical schools with the traditional school, and also the industry practices and the theory work. They should work together in tandem today, moving forward. Very important. There's nothing like working in isolation. You will not get it right. So very important. With emerging technologies in construction, AI-driven, automation, sustainable materials, education policies should integrate. And then personally, I don't want to, because when you talk about education policies, for me as a practitioner, I get lost. But definitely, in simple terms, even those, we need to have practitioners getting involved in shaping and guiding the mindset of the youngsters when they're still at the colleges and the schools. Those who are ready for that talk is very important. That interface is very important. So government should look at that and do it quick. Do it quick and let everybody get there so that the system become one and the industry become controllable. Today we have a problem in enforcing what's happening in the industry. It's a bit not very good. The Juakale people, the train on job people, they become uncontrollable because they can easily get jobs from investors. They get it. Then they want to employ the engineers under conditions that are not commensurate with what you think should be. And it's understandable because the way he gets the job, they will tell you, you've been reading for your PhD now, you go and get a job for PhD. So it become a bit difficult because it's difficult. It's a difficult industry, but at the end of it all, whether it is difficult or not difficult, the point is whatever infrastructure which is being constructed, it should be fit for purpose. That is the word. Whether you work with which entity, you are a regulatory entity, you are enforcement entity, you are what entity, what is being built for use by the public should be what? Fit for purpose. Level, whether it is economy, whether it is value engineering, whether it is cost, what at the end of it all, anything being used by the public should be fit for purpose. Buildings are designed for some maybe 50 to 75 years. Bridges are designed and constructed to last for over 120 years with proper maintenance, go out to 150 generations and generations. So most of these infrastructure are not for you and me, 50 years, 60 years lifespan. They are twice or thrice our lifespan. Dams. We have so many dams. Dams go up to 200 years. We have Jinja, we have Kira, we have Bujagali, we have Simba, we have Karuma. These dams are not done for anybody's lifespan. They are done for, that means all the material specification, the geometry specification, exposure, everything done is for 4 generations, 50 years lifespan, 4 generations. Nile Bridge is done for at least 3 generations, 50 years. You are done with your thing, you are done with the other one, you're done. So we need to try to make sure these things stay. So we need to integrate, people need to understand, we need enforcement, the discipline has to be there. The discipline has to be there so that we are able to try this infrastructure. You see, we are a bit fortunate, but we are not fortunate because Uganda has 3 zones of earthquake. You have the western axis, all the way from Kisoro area coming out, the Fort Portal area up, all the way to West Nile. Then zone 2 is the Mbale area, eastern axis, all the way down that side. Then zone 3 is now the middle portion, all the way towards Gulu, come down to Masaka here. That is zone. But that they have different peak ground acceleration. So when earthquake happen, normally the western axis tend to experience more. The tremors tend to go more. Though historical, sometimes you find six magnitudes of 6 is experienced in the north, sometime like that. So you may find things changing, but most design now, they are taking care of earthquake, they're taking care of this wind. Recently we had a very serious wind in Kalangala. If that thing happened anywhere here, most of the building would be in trouble. That Musoke wind we talk about, Musoke wind. So I think we lost even the police there and other people. So basically we need to have the discipline so that the infrastructure we are putting there, all the same qualities with those in the Western world, outside here. So all we need is, whether it is the business community, the education community, but when it comes to infrastructure projects, let them just join their hand, have it done correctly, meeting all the requirements, the best practices, and the generations enjoy. You see how these guys are standing here, all of them? There's one person who designed this thing, but these guys will have to make sure what was designed is what was implemented. So that's what we need to have. So with emerging technologies in the construction industry, we need that education policy should integrate. Anyway, it's more now our education system. Whoever will come across this YouTube, if they are willing, they can see what they can share. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics subjects in schools to prepare future engineers. So you start tailoring. You look at now like the Nile Bridge, Kampala Entebbe Expressway, Ndabigirwa, and Nalukulong and Busega. We have Para Bridge. We have a Simba. Now, these are all different technologies, different configuration, different location, different geographical location, site conditions are all different. So the education system, you start telling it, first talk about the soil type in Uganda, region-wise, talk about wind, climate, talk about what, then introduce them to implication to, even the Bible has, when you build your foundation on a sinking sand, it will not last. If you put it on rock, it will do what? So even a kid who understands this narrative in church will understand that thing. You tailor it down, then you do few things, and they begin to appreciate from day one. Even the building where you put your house, you can go out and say, you see this house, if I done it in this area, this is what will happen. This is where we dig. This is when you're putting a building, we remove all this black soil until you reach the brown. When you reach the brown, which is now continually down, you can put your house there tomorrow. You hear? You tell them, no, even if I'm not there, you're putting it, make sure that's wet. So from that point, they begin to understand a few things. So innovation labs for research in smart buildings and information, yeah. I've told you research is very important. So our brothers and sisters who are research-based, please move in that. Digital construction methods, such as building information modeling. I know guys are very young engineers today I work with, are very fast in these things. Now we have many, I don't want to talk about so many things, like we have Revit structure, we have infrastructure. I think there is a Revit structure, there's another, okay, even now we have MIDAS, construction information modeling, CIM is already being introduced, it's already there. I think InfraWorks seem to have something, and so, and many Bentley-based softwares. But some of this, maybe it's only at, not only universities where you should introduce, for even the technologies, these guys who are, because we need to have, there are two kinds of software they are bringing today. There is construction stage software based, then there is design based software. So there are those who are already going and understanding, like at diploma level, who understand modeling, who understand the load path, who understand construction processes. They should begin to understand the BIM and also construction planning and seeing how best it can affect. Even understanding Microsoft projects in project implementation. Most of these guys who are already doing this, because if you look at the planning and work plan of many projects, the guys, it is always bottom up. They get all the information, give it to the planner, and the planner input it in the software. But it means they can also have their own tailor-made Excel based to plan. So I think the exposure need to be given to them so that they get that experience very, very fast. Okay, by aligning the education system with real-world construction roles, Uganda can develop a skilled workforce ready for national development projects. And then basically that. So, in summary, my experience, my exposure, my education, your experience, your exposure, your education, How can we work together to impress, to moral boost, to inspire younger generation not to drop out of schools, but to pick up from the dropout stage and start a new life in the technical world. We are the living testimony. We are here. You have a point, you start from P7, you go to your craft certificate, move to your advanced certificate, go to your diploma thing, go up on a diploma, high diploma. From one diploma, you can now go to degree. There's no problem, depending on how sharp you are. Then from senior 4, you go to your advanced certificate, you go to your honor diploma, you go to your diploma, you go to degree, or you just go from your diploma. Honor diploma, you can start. From all levels, you start with a diploma, you move on the ladder, you go up, you go up. If you want to go to your PhD, you go to your PhD. But PhD should not be a paper for going to compete with someone whereby you are lobbying to get the job. You are lobbying, you're not sleeping, you have your PhD. You are not sleeping, you are lobbying to get the job, just you have a PhD. Then make sure your PhD, by the time you do, government is already with you and you're going to start farm to do research. There's a lot of trouble. We have a lot of problem. I was involved, I worked with UNRWA for over 15 years. I will tell you, every project we do has got a research component. Everything, even now in the ministry where I have joined, everything has a research aspect. And if that research can be stepped up, let me tell you, the industry will change and government will start depending on the research and development firm to guide moving forward. It is very important, very, very important. Everything we have to recycle, the new word, the local word, everything, human resource, available materials, so many things are there. So it is very important. So how can myself and yourself work, get out? This thing we are doing here, they are being accessed by many young people and they are getting inspired. So please, let's join hands and try to help people who are being called to go and talk in big areas also, so that we can tame and try to align our youngsters to get it where we are, or even better. Most of these young guys will do better than we are because we struggle somewhere and then they come and do it. So construction and personnel has simple guides to students to align their ambitions with real industry practices. Structured education pathways, vocational training and technical colleges focuses on unskilled and skilled laborers. Engineering degrees prepare site engineers, resident engineers, and design engineers. Advanced management and architecture programs will be more onto managers, contract managers, and project directors and architects. What about the clear career progression, moving pathways? Stage 1, certificate in masonry. These are P7. P7. Stage 2, senior 4. Senior 6. Actually, P7 and P7 and senior 4, stage 1. There's the craft certificate and advanced certificate. I've told you that P7 craft certificate, you move on. Advanced certificate, I think, from senior 4, depending on whatever it is. Diploma is from senior 6. Then degrees now, those who have also gone to degree senior 6 and they go direct, they pass with the cutoff point that takes to the university. There's a cutoff point that takes you to technical schools or technical colleges. Then the postgraduate, now you are now doing more after your degree. And then the integration or practical training is where now technical students should now get exposure or exposed to the site practicing fellows like foremen, masonry, in their line of interest to get acquainted and get to know some of the things hands-on. Engineering students should collaborate with site engineers and project managers, even through talk shows and invitation to universities to give in sharing their knowledge, like I did to a master of structure student. Okay. Future leaders, project managers, and the rest of it, those are things. These are then specialization for economic growth. You need infrastructure and bridges. You need to know civil engineering and structural engineering design, residential and commercial housing. You need to prioritize architecture, urban planning, and sustainable building. And then heavy construction and roads. You need to train specialists in geotechnical engineering and soils, materials, and contract management. Encouraging science, technology, engineering, and mathematics and innovation could be very important. With this advancement in technology, the world has become a global village, the new world order, everything. We need to work so hard to make sure the young one get the right tune and move with confidence without thinking that they have lost. They have not lost. They are starting new life. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I end my zigzagging knowledge sharing. I hope it will touch one or two guys, and then you can guide those people in the villages, in town here, who reached P7 and thought the world has ended, who reached senior 4, they thought the world had ended, who reached senior 6 and they thought the world had ended. Even the neighbors, even the parents start looking at the neighbors' children thinking these guys are lucky. No, every kid who has reached P7 is lucky. Senior 4 is lucky, and senior 6. The little money you have, start with that. He gets into that, gets first certificate, he starts making his money. The thing I forgot to tell you is, after a craft certificate, he's employed and is earning. All you need is to guide that person not to get into other things like drugs, women, and other things, and men. No. Make sure they start growing now. He's now a professional, practitioner guy, technologist. That craft goes to the advanced, the salary also goes up. Then move to diploma. So that is what you need. No, there's no one losing in the education system. If we begin to embrace technology, technical schools, and the government is trying to do a lot, Ministry of Education is doing a lot in that. So let us have a good talk to all these parents, and everybody enjoys. Thank you, and have a good day.